It began with silence. A silence so complete, so absolute, it felt like the very breath of the universe had stopped. Voyager 1, our oldest, most distant explorer, was gone. No signal, no data, just the cold void of space, stretching 15 billion miles from Earth. A spacecraft older than the internet itself had gone dark, and with it, the last flicker of humanity's presence at the edge of the known cosmos seemed to die. Scientists feared the worst. For months, they stared into the static, listening for a heartbeat that never came. Voyager had slipped into nothingness, and we braced for the end. And then, out of the dark, a whisper returned. Not just a ping or routine status check, but something deeper, stranger. A transmission that shattered every illusion we had about the vast nothingness beyond the sun. What Voyager sent back wasn't silence. It wasn't emptiness. It was movement, pressure, structure. The interstellar void we once thought cold and empty now stirred with unknown forces. Voyager had reached the other side of the heliopause, the invisible boundary where the sun's influence ends, and found not a dark abyss, but a place alive with invisible currents, memory, and power. It wasn't fiction. It wasn't fantasy. It was real. The truth it uncovered began to tear at the edges of what we believed space to be. When Voyager 1 first crossed the heliopause in 2012, it entered true interstellar space, beyond the protective bubble of solar wind and magnetic field. Back then, we expected quiet. We imagined a peaceful stillness, a final resting place of silence and cold. But what came in 2024 changed everything. After months of garbled signals, corrupted data, and growing despair, NASA engineers pulled off the impossible. Diagnosing the issue as a corrupted memory chip, likely struck by the very cosmic rays Voyager was built to study, they rerouted its systems into backup hardware. With tools and code older than most of the people using them, they reached across 15 billion miles of space. And against all odds, Voyager came back to life. First, the engineering systems returned. Then came the instruments, magnetometers, plasma wave detectors, cosmic ray sensors. One by one, they awoke like eyes adjusting to an alien dawn. And what they saw defied all simulation, all prediction. Space beyond the heliosphere was not a dead sea. It was humming with a low, constant frequency, steady and rhythmic. A sound, a pulse, as if the galaxy itself had a heartbeat. The plasma wave instruments detected ambient energy flowing through the interstellar medium, whispering secrets in the form of waves. But that hum was just the beginning. Voyager recorded abrupt spikes in density and pressure, waves crashing through the cosmic darkness, remnants of ancient supernovae echoing through time. Imagine it. A tiny spacecraft, drifting alone, passing through layers of stellar memory, areas shaped by explosions that happened eons before life even stirred on Earth. This wasn't a corridor of silence. It was a storm of ghosts, each shockwave a scar from a star that once lived and died in fire. Then came the magnetic turbulence. Voyager's instruments picked up something stunning, a misalignment in the galactic magnetic field. It wasn't subtle, it was violent, like tectonic plates clashing. The sun's magnetic influence was grinding against the galactic field. The result was not chaos, but pattern, structure, a skeleton of force weaving through space. These weren't just random fluctuations. They were filaments, cosmic highways, and barricades that controlled the flow of matter, energy, and radiation. Some zones funneled cosmic rays like rivers. Others deflected them entirely. Voyager had crossed a threshold, a border between invisible nations carved into the void by forces we're only beginning to understand. These weren't slow, gradual changes. They were immediate, jarring. One moment, Voyager floated in one environment. The next, it was somewhere else entirely. We used to think the heliosphere was a gentle fade into the void, like walking down a beach into the ocean. But Voyager showed us it's more like stepping off a cliff. Beyond that edge, everything changes. As the months passed, the discoveries piled up. Voyager drifted through clouds of denser gas and plasma, interstellar clouds shaped by the deaths of stars. Each cloud had different properties, distinct temperatures, unique magnetic signatures, even subtle changes in the galactic hum. Crossing each cloud was like moving between invisible continents. Voyager wasn't just gathering data, it was making the first real map of interstellar space. And that map didn't look like empty blackness. It looked like terrain, not made of mountains and valleys, but of radiation, magnetism, and pressure. And then Voyager reached the local bubble, an enormous void in the interstellar medium hundreds of light-years wide, likely carved by multiple supernovae millions of years ago. Voyager's instruments began detecting the edges of this vast cavity, places where pressure spikes, magnetic fields distort, and echoes of ancient cataclysms still ripple through plasma and dust. These weren't abstract scientific footnotes. They were the very bones of the galaxy, the lingering fingerprints of stellar death and cosmic rebirth. But the most eerie revelation of all was the sound. Voyager's plasma wave instruments began picking up continuous, low-frequency oscillations that never stopped. It wasn't background noise. It wasn't random. It was music, a symphony of waves, possibly created by the interaction of plasma and magnetic fields across the galaxy. And as Voyager moved, the hum changed, shifting in tone and rhythm as if the probe were sailing through zones of different vibration. It was as though the galaxy was alive, resonating with its own secret music. Some scientists speculate this hum could be the key to understanding how the galaxy is organized. Others are more cautious. They wonder if it's something we can't yet describe, an entirely new category of cosmic behavior. Either way, Voyager isn't just hearing it, it's part of it now, part of the song. And through its sensors, we're hearing it for the first time. Each variation in the data, each twist of the magnetic field, each spike in radiation was not random. They were landmarks. Voyager's readings are helping scientists draft a kind of topography of the galaxy. Not of solid ground, but of force, flow, and danger. Imagine knowing where high radiation zones lie, where cosmic rays concentrate, and where natural magnetic barriers create shelter. These maps could guide future probes, and perhaps one day astronauts through safe corridors between stars. And perhaps even more profound, some believe these structures are shaping the very birth of stars. That the patterns Voyager is tracing, the filaments, the clouds, the pressure zones, are not just leftovers of stellar death, but blueprints of stellar creation. Voyager is not simply a probe. It's a time traveler, a scout, a mapmaker of the galaxy's deepest currents. It's rewriting what we thought we knew about space. We once imagined interstellar space as still, flat, and neutral. Now we know it's alive. It breathes. It changes. It has weather. It has memory. And it has shape. Voyager was never built to do this. It was launched in 1977 to study the outer planets. Its mission was supposed to last just a few years. And yet here it is, nearly 5 decades later, powered by technology from the 1970s, still sending back data that's rewriting modern astrophysics. It wasn't designed to survive this long, to see this far, or to hear this deep. But it did. And it is. What it's discovering is not aliens or wormholes or faster-than-light travel. It's something even more important. It's the truth that we live in a galaxy more complex, more structured, more dynamic than we ever imagined. That our solar system sits in a fragile cocoon, shielded by ancient explosions, floating in an ocean of invisible currents, echoing with the music of dead stars. Voyager is teaching us that space is not the void. It's a story, a living, breathing narrative written in fields, waves, and pressure. And right now, we're reading the very first page. So the next time you look up at the stars and think you see only darkness, remember that out there, 15 billion miles away, a golden-plated messenger is still drifting, still listening, still writing the next chapter in humanity's cosmic journey. It reminds us that the real frontier was never just space. It was the courage to keep listening when the universe whispers.